I was one of those people who always wanted to have a 9 to 5, have my 401k, have my benefits, and have a retirement plan and call it a day. God just had a different way to do that. So me being an entrepreneur and have my own business, pitting myself and having my own boss, not having a backup plan, and kind of going back. I feel like sometimes when people say they're entrepreneurs, they love it, they enjoy it, but they don't tell anybody about the other aspect of it. Of it's not a 9 to 5; it's 24 hours.
Welcome back to the Leaving a Rich Legacy podcast. I am your host, Jessica Rich, and this podcast is more than just a series of conversations. It is truly a love letter to my younger self and to anyone who is seeking courage and empowerment within the layers of our shared experiences within the Black and Brown community. Now, in our current series, I Choose Me, we're diving deep into the transformative journeys of our incredible guests who all have bravely made the choice to put themselves first. Together, we'll unpack the conversations that are often unheard in the Black and Brown community and really celebrate the power of self love, self care, resilience, and authenticity. So I ask that you join me today as we amplify our guest stories so each of us can leave a richer legacy for the generation to come. Today, our special guest is Jamel Madison. I'm super excited to have Jamel here with us today. Jamel, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you. I really appreciate it for joining the podcast today.
I am super excited just because I have got a chance to, I guess, discovered you maybe a year and a half ago to kind of watch your journey online and then having a chance to actually work with you. So I am just excited for my community to learn a little bit more about you and what you're doing and hopefully inspire and encourage them to try something different. So let's start off with who is Jamel? Let's start
Uh,
with your story and tell us a little bit about your journey, but then also how you became a tennis coach.
yes, I am. I was raised in Shreveport, Louisiana, with my mother, my father, and my older brother. There for a long time. I moved there when I was 13. We moved around a lot because my dad was a part of the Boy Scouts of America. So I was actually born in Colorado. Then we moved to Indiana, Chicago, Ohio. Then we moved pretty much to Louisiana. Most of my family is in Louisiana. Then after college and working with AT&T, I got to move to Austin by myself. Then I went to Arizona. Then being close to back home, I put my roots back into Dallas, somewhat of a 2 hours drive from Shreveport. So I always loved the big city. So I moved back here. I am a tennis coach here in Dallas, Texas, professional tennis coach. People say I do this full time, no backup plan. I am an entrepreneur. I started my own business called Madison Ace Racquet Sports 3 years ago. I was working in a profound country club as a tennis coach full time. Then I got to able to start my own business and work at the country club, and just getting more people involved in tennis. So I'm part of the United States Tennis Association, the RSPTA, Racket Sports Professional Association, and the USTA Texas Board of Advocates and Facilities. So just trying to get more people into tennis and showing a different way.
So you said a couple things that I would love to kind of dive deeper into, but I just want to start with how did you get started with tennis?
Yes, I started playing tennis. I was 13 in Louisiana. I didn't want to play football no more. I was a chunkier kid, and most of my family played tennis. My uncle played tennis in Opelousas, who won a couple state titles and everything. He was a coach. So I started playing at the country club in Southern Trace. Enjoyed it very well. Got to play with my parents a lot. Then summer times I used to go to Opelousas, Louisiana, and play 2 a days with him. So waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning, playing to about 8 o'clock in the morning, come home, take a nap, go take a shower, get some food, then go back out there in the heat at 5 o'clock to another 8, and just do that every single summer for like 3 years. Dropped the weight, started playing junior tournaments, and got really good at pretty much tennis. I was 90th at one point in Louisiana. Then I just got really burnt out after my junior year. After my junior year, playing some circuits. And I did not play my senior year. I quit. It was too much on my mental, and I was like, you know what, tennis. I'm not picking up a racket ever again. It's been fun. but fell a little back in love with the game in Austin, Texas, and start playing more and start coaching a little bit here and there. Then that's how I came to it.
Wow. So just listening to that, you like, you made a decision to choose yourself at a young age where you kind of got burnt out. You said, I'm done. And then of course you found yourself, your way back to it. But at that moment, you're talking about I think a senior. So I'm assuming this was a senior in high school. Is that
Yes,
correct?
yes. Senior high school. I was a senior high school. I didn't get to choose myself. I chose partying. That's what I wanted to do for my senior year. I wanted to go to the homecoming. I wanted to go to prom. I wanted to go to house parties. That's why I chose over tennis. I didn't choose myself. I chose my happiness and my friends over it. Because when I was playing tennis, I would miss pretty much all the homecomings and everything because I always had to be at tournaments and try to think about ways to try to get to moving up the circuit.
Okay. Well, still, I mean, so it's a combination
Yes.
because you chose being a kid and
Mm-hmm.
enjoying some of those activities that I think some athletes may not get an opportunity to really experience when they play certain sports. So
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little bit of choosing you as well. So you also mentioned that you're a full-time entrepreneur and
Mm-hmm.
you specifically said, I don't have a backup plan. And
Mm-hmm.
I think for a lot of people, especially my listeners, and we talk about choosing ourselves and prioritizing ourselves, that can be hard for some people. So when to be able to say that and confidently, what does that mean to you to be able to say, like, this is it? I don't have a backup plan. This is what I enjoy. I'm a full-time entrepreneur. Can you just kind of talk about that?
Yeah. So when I was one of those people who always wanted to have a 9 to 5, have my 401k, have my benefits, and have a retirement plan and call it a day, God just had a different way to do that. So me being an entrepreneur and have my own business, pitting myself and having my own boss, not having a backup plan, and kind of going back. I feel like sometimes when people say they're entrepreneurs, they love it, they enjoy it, but they don't tell anybody about the other aspect of it. Of it's not a 9 to 5; it's 24 hours. People don't understand this. I'm working nonstop every single day, every single hour, every single weekend, just trying to come up with the next plan because it's no backup plan. If the money's not coming in, it's all when you have no one to blame, no one to look behind to say, oh, I can blame my boss, blah blah blah. No, you have to blame yourself for whatever way for to bring that money in. So when I became an entrepreneur, I enjoyed it, and I said, well, I want to go back to corporate, and I want to put this on the side, put this on the back burner. So I did go back to corporate after I left the country club with my own business, and joined. I enjoyed it for maybe 2 months and said, "Yeah, that's not it." And people said, "This you need to come back to tennis because we need you more times." Because I used to work for pretty much 8 to 5, get off at 5, go to a tennis court, work from 5 to about 9 to 10 o'clock. Go home, get some food, go to sleep, and do it all over again every single day for the weekdays and weekends. I was surely working. I have a son, so he'll be out there with me as well at 3 years old picking up balls, but just trying to get that grind, trying to build that community and putting invested into it. Then it's got to different real busy, and I got the chance to kind of say, you know what, I'm just going to believe into you, Lord. I'm just going to quit this 9 to 5, and you said this is what I need to be doing, and I never look back.
Wow. To have the faith to do that and just trust God in the process, that's amazing. I think sometimes we don't realize by limiting ourselves or just truly trusting him to make a way, even though you got to put in some work, right, that it can happen and it could actually position you to allow you to do something that you really enjoy and are passionate about. Now you also mentioned that some people, it's not a 9 to 5, right? And sometimes you find yourself that it sounds like that you can be working a lot of hours. And
Mm-hmm.
one thing that I am just truly, truly passionate about is work-life harmony, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say the balance, but work-life harmony. And so thinking about this series and talking about choosing ourselves, how do you make time, right, to choose yourself, both personally and professionally? If you're a full-time entrepreneur, you have this business, this is your baby, and you are, like you said, you're just looking for ways to connect, to build your community. So, how are you choosing yourself and making time to prioritize, Jamel?
Um, To be honest with Jessica, I don't. I tell people tennis is my significant other right now. She's very demanding. So people know I'm always on the tennis court. But I always say tennis is it's ups and downs. So we have a very busy season, and we have a slower season. So the winter time, holidays, that's when you can kind of take a break and kind of get to. I can pit really and adjust myself and take the rest. But I know when spring, summer, fall happens, all right, it's go time. That means I might not have no days off for the next 60 days. Or if I have a rainy day, great. I need to relax. I need to go to the movies by myself and kind of go. But I have certain moments of periods of time of 2 weeks. Okay, I need maybe one day off of just not doing anything, not be on the tennis court, and kind of getting more checking in with myself. And I do check-ins every single day. I'm not on the court from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. every single day. So like right now, I'm relaxing. I'm off. I've been on the court since 7 o'clock in the morning. I got a little break, got me some lunch, and can relax. Now I can about 6 o'clock. All right, we're ramping back up, but just in that type of thing. So I have periods of time of sprints.
Okay. Sprints.
Yep, that's why I call them
Period.
sprints.
Yeah, periods of times or sprints. And so is that equivalent to a tennis term or that's just what you
We sprint a lot. I would say maybe just as just, just as track and field sprints. It's very short, and it's not like a marathon. You're not running. We just call them. I just call them sprints, like 100 meter dash.
so do you feel like there is an opportunity or you're at a place where you want to be more intentional about giving yourself time to really prioritize yourself, like being intentional, scheduling specific time outside of the rainy days, or if someone, has to cancel. Is that a priority for you in this season?
To be honest, not in this season because I sat down with me and my business partner, and we kind of came up with this year. It's really a takeover. Really, we're really getting involved. This is like somewhat our third year with the company. We really want to make sure it's good because we don't want it to be like, hey, the third year we tried it, but we have to kind of shut it down. No, this third year where we can really figure things out. So we put a goal for ourselves. Is okay, whole year we're going all the way to the wall. We keep going. So we're already in July. We have a couple more months to go. Then we can kind of take a break and kind of take the foot off our gas. But right now we're all foot on the gas, 100 miles per hour. We're going. We're doing everything we can, trying to reach the most people we can, and not selling just yet. Not in this season.
That's understandable. That is understandable, and I love that you are aware
Hmm.
it's not in this season because I do think there are different seasons where I do prioritize work-life harmony, but in the industry I used to work in, I knew that there were peak seasons, right? And there are just going to be times that you're going to be super busy and you have to be intentional to, as you called it, to have your sprints and making sure you're taking those sprints. But then also just being fully aware, like there is a time where you are going all in and you may not have as much downtime or self-care time, but knowing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel and being intentional about that once you reach your goal. So
Yes.
you sound very passionate about tennis. We talked about how you started with tennis, but I would love to know like what was really the defining moment when you knew like you were called to do this? Was there something that specifically occurred, an interaction that let you know when you came back to tennis that this was your purpose?
Um, a single moment, no, but I always look at um it amazes me all the time when we're kind of going back to the work life and harmony. Um, I enjoy working. I enjoy being busy, and I think the reason why I'm still doing it so long and I'm not getting burnt out. I enjoy seeing everybody's faces when they come on the tennis court and seeing everybody from different walks of life. So, just for example, I always say, um, seeing all these people on getting people one way on the tennis court where it's not never used to be accessible for a lot of us, and not, well, I'm not gonna say me, but my company having that opportunity to open those doors is always going to be that, like, this is my purpose. I'm doing something that we can always do. Hearing these different type of testimonies from my clients, we don't put this online a lot, but we always hear, "Hey, y'all doing so great. Like, I met my friend here. I met my husband. I met this person. I met this person." You never know who you might meet in the community out here, and not just trying to get the dollar as well. But it never was a single moment of saying, "Dang, this is my purpose." I think it's just every single day I'm waking up early in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, just be on the tennis court and say, "Man, this is really nice. Having some place you can call home, seeing all these people, beautiful faces, and all that."
And with you interacting with so many different people and being able to pour into them, because I think your company and your business and your coaching style is more than just a coach, right?
Yes.
Or an instructor, or just telling you what to do. I think it's very personable. And for someone who had sessions with you and have no idea what I was doing and still don't, I feel like you have a personality and you're very welcoming where I want to come back and learn. And so, is there any intentionality behind that when you think about your vision when you meet a new client one on one, or you have another group class, or session in the evenings? What is your intent when you meet those individuals and the purpose for that session for those players?
We go by the four F's. We have four pillars. We call them faith, fundamentals, fitness, and fun. So when they step on the court, you're going to get a little workout in for sure. We can get you a little bit back fit. And people always say tennis is always going to get, it's a different type of cardio when you need for tennis than running or anything in cycling. It's a different type of cardio. So you're always going to get that fitness in. We're always going to teach you the fundamentals. We're going to break it down to you. If you go to another tennis center, you might not be able to talk, or they're moving them too fast. No, we have an open conversation. Um, if you when you see our drills, or if you come to our classes or our lessons, it's very different from anything I would say maybe in the world or in America, because we're having a conversation. I'm asking you, hey, do you understand what hitting in front means? Yeah, coach, I got you. No, show me. Oh, well, I thought this. No, we need to, this is what my way is. Let's meet in the middle. This is what you really need to do. And we have people who might like not understand at all what we're talking about. So we have to kind of break it down. And what's unique about our pretty much Madison Ace Racquet Sports and our group is we have multiple coaches who've been teaching longer than I've been alive. We have, I don't want to say the names, but so many years of 40, 50 years of coaching, of just doing tennis so long, and they've seen everybody who's there, and they'll come over and say, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing as well," and giving that collaboration. In me being a young guy, somewhat coaching for, been in the sport for 20 years, I can show them like, "Hey, this is what I'm seeing as well." It's a collaboration when you see that type of thing. So always gonna get that fundamentals. You're gonna have fun. You're gonna meet new people, and the biggest one is faith. We always ask everybody after class and after every lesson, what do you need to pray for? Not tennis wise, just what do you need to pray for? Because I wouldn't be here. We appreciate people for spending their heart on $20, $60. We know tennis is not accessible for anywhere else. You can go anywhere to try to get tennis and go play for free. But y'all want to come here and buy a package and come to our pretty much tennis court, it's always going to be a blessing. So that's one way we can kind of always say, hey, what do you need to pray for? And we take it to heart of, I pray for my people. Hey, they got this going on, and some people say, "Hey, you're close to God. You can talk to the big man." I don't know about that, but I just pray, put it out there. Hopefully, you get that job. Hopefully, you get that man or woman in that relationship. It's always trying to be different there for you. I think that's what we have, that base there.
Those pillars are pretty powerful, and it does create a very welcoming environment. in addition to, like you said, the foundation of learning tennis, but then also the fun and the faith piece. I know that that's something that I really, really was impressed by with my first session. Just like, wow, okay, well, I got something. But I think that was a very personable touch. And
Mhm.
so you all just being so intentional about making that a space where people can not only come and learn, but really feel like they have a community and support, I think is super important. So you
Yes.
talked a little bit about earlier that, you got tired of playing football, right? And you wanted to do something a little bit different, and then you end up falling in love and enjoying tennis. And so when I think about societal pressures and expectations, sometimes that will drive the things that we do in life. So for you, have you had to push back on certain expectations, whether that was society, family, friends, or just other, people in your life that have certain expectations for you and you had to follow your own path? If so, what did that look like?
Yes, 1000%. Everybody's gonna come. They everybody comes to me with a different idea. We should be doing this, or we should be going this place. We should be going that. Um, it's always good. We can hear it. We can digest it. But we have to bring it to the Lord. And if it's not from Him, well, I'm not probably going to do it. Or if it doesn't feel right, I'm not going to do it. I have to sit with it. So our one thing about me personally, I always say to no to everything. But with my no's for my friends, they know it's probably like a maybe. Or I have to sit with it. I have to adjust it. I have to think about it. I have to think about it logistically. For it. So I'm just thinking you might have one idea, say, hey, we might want to do a wine and friends. Great. In my mind, thinking of, okay, we have a wine and friends, how many people, what time of day, this, that, this, and that. I'm going think about a couple steps ahead of you of just not just this one fun idea. I'm thinking multiple ideas of that there for you. And understanding and letting people know this is how I think. It's not trying to come off rude, but let's talk it out more, not just hey, should be a fun, nice way to do something.
Have you ever experienced any type of pressure to step away from tennis and do something else?
No,
Okay.
mm-mm, not yet.
That's good. I think that's good. That shows more sense of maybe boundaries and then also support. But sometimes when I think about those societal expectations too, sometimes people tell you, you should do this, you should do that. Or why not do the 9 to 5 and also have your full time, excuse me, have your business. And so I feel like that's great that you haven't had to experience that.
Yeah, and
You are
I tried it already. Tried to work the 9 to 5, had the business on the side. It's just too much. It's not enough time in the day to do all that. Someone's always going to slip. Somebody told me, is another entrepreneur said, if you want to really do your business, you have to put a lot of time in it, and something's always going to fall at the wayside if you're trying to do two things at one time.
I can see that. And the fact that you've already done it, and like you said, that there's no backup plan, like this is gonna work, that
Hmm.
speaks volumes. But also I do think it's a reflection of sometimes people, do project their own vision on others. And so either you have really good boundaries or people respect and support what you're doing and they see how passionate you are about it. So I think that's great that you haven't had to experience that.
Yes, and with me is I worked already in that corporate field. I worked since I was 19, working in the corporate field till I was pretty much 30 years old, getting laid off twice, working for two Fortune 500 companies, AT&T, First American Title, being a senior accounting analyst, working for dispatcher and doing all those type of things. So I know, hey, if something goes wrong or anything, I got to agree. I can go back. I can go corporate. I got that background. I have it. That's what I can fall back on. So when people meet me, of I already did it. Like y'all, I kind of retired from the corporate world. Now I'm in my entrepreneur phase here. If I want to, I can maybe go back one day, but I'm liking this life.
I love it. And you sound very confident about it. So I think that's super important in this space, right? So you try the corporate and trying to do entrepreneurship at the same time, and you know that you needed to give your full attention and energy into your business, right? And making sure that Madison Ace is where it needs to be to continue to grow. As a black man in this space that may not be as diverse, what are some of the challenges that you faced and how have you navigated them?
Challenges I have faced is credibility. I always probably will get the questions from everybody. Where did you play? What certifications do you have? What education do you have? Um, how did you get into the space of, oh, I want to do what you do? And when I tell people tennis is, you think will be fun. Coaching is totally two different things. Um, but playing and coaching, two separate things. Coaching is very tough for people. I would not recommend it for a young person. Say, hey, get into tennis coaching. No, it's long hours. You're out in the sun, especially with the Texas heat. It's a grind every single day, every single season. If you're somewhere indoors, you probably at a country club. You only can touch so many different people in that aspect of it. So I wouldn't recommend somebody being a tennis coach 1,000%. But me coming from the side of things and helping from that corporate side and having that background, understanding, hey, look, I got all my certifications. I've been playing. I've been playing for 20 years, and having that background and really getting digested into tennis of looking, saying, look, y'all don't talk to other minority people like this here, but I got my credibility. I don't know what they do over here, but this is what I got. I'm certified at the highest level on not just one, but two. I'm part of the USCA and all this, and just kind of not rambling through this resume, but showing them this is who I am. If you want to get with it, great. If you don't, I understand it, but I can get you to a different coach. And being with collaboration with other coaches as well. We don't do that very enough as often. I think in different aspects of entrepreneurs because we always like a dog eat dog world. But I come from the different side of things of, hey, let's work together. If you need something, let me know. If I need something, I'll let you know. So I have a lot of coaches who are coaches and friends now, and close friends to me who I came in this world, who's been coaching longer than me, play D1, and they were like, "Man, you're one of the best coaches I ever seen." I'm like, "Thanks so much. You went D1. That really don't matter at all."
So all these accolades that you have, and I can understand some people just questioning what type of certifications and how long you've played. But you just mentioned like someone that went D1 talked about you being one of the best coaches. And earlier, you also mentioned some of the testimonials that you may not share online, but you hear them from your community. So, are you in a place or a space where you celebrate yourself and all of your accomplishments?
um, I'll probably say not yet because I feel like we haven't accomplished nothing just yet. We still have more to accomplish. I still want um, more people on the tennis courts. I want my coaches to get celebrated. I want my community to get celebrated before me. I want to always. I would tell people if I have a shining light on me, I want you to come into the light and get some shine too. So I want everybody in my community to shine before I do. So I'm at the last man standing. So if they're not getting shine, we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. We're not there yet, right? So
We're
you're
not there
talking
yet.
about
Yes, we're
you and
not
your
there yet.
community.
Correct. And tennis is not there yet. Tennis is always going to be the number one love. It's always going to be the hierarchy we want to get to. So till we see our community on U.S. Open or this or that, if that's one of the goals that the Lord wants us to have, we're not there yet. That's one of our goals.
What about some of the other goals that you and your business partners have set and you have accomplished them? Have you taken a moment just to, even if it's a small win, but really taking a moment just to acknowledge that you accomplished that goal?
Oh yes, yes, yes. We have a couple of small micro goals. Doing a new website, getting a place where we can call home. So Thorn Tree Golf Club, um, having a little bit of merchandise, having shirts made for people, just micro goals. Therefore, that's easy. That's what we really wanted to accomplish this year, and we already hit them before the end of the year.
Okay. Okay. So I think that's great. And I had to ask again because I hear that you're pouring into to others. And I think it's just so important that we take a moment to, even if it's a small celebration, even if it's just kind of talking to yourself, but not missing the moment of celebration. I
Hmm.
know specifically in the Black community, sometimes we just keep going to the next goal, or we set the next goal, right? And we never actually sit in the moment to say, like, I did that, or I'm
Hmm.
happy I got there. And just me observing what you're doing, as somebody who's actually gone through sessions, individual as well as with a friend, like you're a really, really good coach. And I think that that speaks volumes about how the other community members feel about you. And so I just, Coach Jamel, don't want you to sleep on an opportunity to just really recognize all of the things that you have done, even though it may not be to the long term goal yet.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah. Gotta give I'm gonna give you your flowers, because I
Thank you.
think to have patience to deal with me, you know what you're doing. So, let's talk about you as an individual, and, you kind of mentioned that you tell people playing tennis and coaching is two different things, and I would think that comes with a serious level of patience and understanding that you would have to have. How has coaching shaped the way that you show up in your life? Not necessarily for others, but for yourself.
Um, it taught me how to not to be very patient with myself, not to be so hard on myself as well, because I always want everyone out here, even you for like a client, to be the best for you can be. I want you to play tournaments. I want you to play leagues. I want you to be this 3.5 player. So I'm always going to be so invested into you. But taking a step back and understanding, hey, you might just want to be a weekend or a vacation person, want to play tennis with some people, have a good time, and that might be your goal. So our goals are totally two different ways, and it taught me to kind of take a step back, relax sometimes, and understand what's your progress is or your trajectory of tennis will be. Everybody's not going to play in the Wimbledon. Somebody's not always not going to play the tournament. Somebody's not going to play league play. And that's totally have to find with that. And I have to be okay with that. Where it kind of gets me is when somebody comes to me and say, hey, I want to play tournaments, but they only been playing once every 6 months. I'm like, okay, well, we got to get really grinding and get really there. And so it taught me how to slow down a lot, therefore, even in my own tennis game, to slow down.
Do you get an opportunity to play tennis yourself quite a bit
Here
these
and
days?
there, here and there, here and there. I still love it. I still enjoy it very much. Um, I don't do it very often now because I'm coaching most of the time, but I still enjoy it.
Is that a form of self-care for you?
Oh, yes, 1000%.
Are there any so you are a very busy, right? You're a very busy person. You have all of your different sessions that are going on, whether it's individual, your classes. I know that you partner with a lot of other organizations here in the Dallas area. And so, do you have any specific habits or rituals that you have in place that you implement to, focus on self-care or just kind of to reset for yourself on a maybe a daily or a weekly basis?
Yeah, probably on a weekly basis. Um, I always want to take a check in and think about the next kind of 2 weeks, what's going to happen, and kind of bake some time in for the admin work. Give me some coffee. Go sit down at a coffee shop. Sit down with my media manager and talk to her about some things. So checking in and making sure. So well, I have a good team behind me that can say, hey, we need to kind of get this done, or we need to figure out what's going on with the next 3 months of planning, and kind of sitting down.
Something is I'm happy you mentioned coffee because I think something as simple as coffee or going to a coffee shop and just breaking up where you are. So if you typically work from home, going to a coffee shop really, really is a good opportunity to just change up the scenery, but then also have that time to yourself, even if you're waiting to meet with someone or you're meeting someone. But it is definitely a form of self care. So I'm happy that you mentioned that because you are a very busy person, but you're still finding ways to do some things between the time that you do have. So, Coach Jamel, I have to ask you, what brings you joy these days? And so we talked a lot about tennis, right? And the things that you're pouring in, but is there anything outside of work that brings you joy?
Yes. What brings me joy? Bringing my son to tennis. Let him play. Always seeing him. I really enjoy seeing my family as well. Getting calls from my brother, and my mother, saying like they're proud of me doing what I'm doing. Hearing from other family members as well. So again, to see them. So that's what really brings me joy, and just brings me joy of waking up every single day and be able to move my feet, have the capability to do somewhat what I want to do on or my purpose wise, and be able to speak to people and just helping pour into the community. I didn't think I would be able to kind of do this back in the day, working in a corporate, but being part of the community really brings me joy.
When you think about, being part of the community, family oriented, when you think about legacy and your legacy, what comes to mind?
Ooh, good question. What comes to mind for my legacy is, um, I think when people talk about legacy, when you pass away, and they like, what's your stakeholder side of things? Of I think my legacy will I want people to remember me by as just being somebody who enjoyed tennis, but love just Dallas and everybody, and just bringing people together. Of you know we have so much hate in this world nowadays, and trying to get this, trying to get that, but just slowing things down and letting people open the doors and saying, you come from a different walk of life, a past, but Madison Ace Racquet Sports is all about everybody. So when people come on the tennis court, we don't care if you're white, black, Chinese, gay, lesbian, we don't care. We want everybody on the tennis court or on the pickleball court, because the sports don't matter. So that's one legacy I want to do. It didn't matter what he did. He welcomed everybody in.
You're right. A lot of people do equate the legacy to, when we pass on. And so I definitely feel like you're building a legacy while you're living in the things that you're doing and connecting with the community, and also just bringing a sport to the Black and Brown community specifically that may not be as popular as some of the other sports like football or basketball. And so I think that in itself speaks volumes for you to be able to reach so many people. But, legacy is really, really important to me. I think there's so many different ways that we can leave a legacy outside of financial means and
Hmm.
thinking about just leaving money to the next generation, just the impact that we can have. And so I love that you shared that and what that looks like for you and how that's connecting with your community.
Hmm.
So I have a question on the podcast that I absolutely love. I kind of shared with you that, one thing that is important to me is just having a relationship and connection with my younger self. And so if you could have a conversation with younger Jamel, what would you tell him?
How old? How old are you? Like my younger self is.
It could be whatever, just that first age that comes to mind. So whether you're in elementary school, you're in middle school, high school, maybe it could be, early 20s. But just when you think about your younger self, like what's the first thing that would come to mind that you would share with him?
I would say it's gonna be rough sometimes, but the storm will end, and there will be a shining light at the end of the tunnel.
That's good. And so for you, just curious, you asked about age. Was does that answer kind of, I'm sure it varies at different stages in your life, but was that the
Hmm.
first response based on a certain specific age?
Yeah, when I was in like a teenager.
Okay. I think you are the first person that asked about age, but I do think it's important because that question for me, I guess it depends on when I think about it, but
Hmm.
it may vary based on where I currently am or the season of things that I'm going through, and I wish I would have known something, differently at a younger age. And so I love that you asked that because it could vary based on where you currently are or how you're feeling. But then also it could vary based on the reminder that maybe like I needed when I was 15 versus the reminder that I needed at 20 compared to this year and last year. So very, very, very powerful.
Thank you.
Now, I asked you a lot of questions, and I would love to know if there is anything else that you would like to share that we did not get to talk about you, Coach Jamel, you as Jamel, not just Coach Jamel, but as Jamel Madison, or about Madison Ace. Anything that you would like to share that you have not had an opportunity to share with us?
Uh, no, I think that's about it. Everybody kind of, I'm an open book. When people kind of meet me there, people say I'm kind of sometimes an a-hole, but I tell them I'm the nicest, sweetest guy you ever met, because I'm in business mode. I'm a coach, number one first. So my coaching style is very rough. I'm very demanding. I'm gonna hold you to your own. I don't take no BS, and everybody knows that. But I'm a very nice, sweet guy. I enjoy everyone who could step on the tennis court, and I enjoy the community. And I thank you for offering for me to be on the tennis court. I mean, not tennis court, on your podcast. What you do is amazing for pretty much for the Dallas community and showing everybody different ways there. So kudos to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I have to one, I thank you for the recognition. And I I find it interesting that you say that how people, respond to you when they first meet you. And you mentioned earlier that sometimes you want more for your clients than they want for themselves. And so at what point did you realize that there may be, a difference of what you may want for clients versus what they desire? Maybe I'm just want it for fun, right? Or it's an
Hmm.
opportunity to get out of the house and you're like, this person is really good. Like they have some foundational techniques that they could like go and really go on, but that's not their desire. So was there a turning point for you where you had to realize that?
It was a turning point, but I think it was just seeing people. I was wearing myself out, I probably would say, and just doing a lot of writing and pitting everybody's name in the progress and trying to work on different things. And I'll give them to the clients, and they're like, "Okay, thanks so much, but well, I really don't need that, coach. About my forehand and work on this. You need to be playing this time. Just doing too much, slowing down, not slowing down, but maybe taking it back just a little bit. Understanding the audience, reading the room, or reading my client. That's how I kind of start learning that.
So I think that you do a good job with that. Speaking from my own experience, so that's why I wanted to ask if there was a turning point. I want to highlight that you mentioned that you were probably overworking yourself or burning yourself out with maybe wanting something more than what the client specifically wanted. And, realizing that because you do have a lot to give, you're pouring into a lot of people between, I'm sure your classes look like you have anywhere between 10 to 20 plus people. And then you have your one on one or couple sessions. And so that is something, whether you're a full-time entrepreneur, you're in the corporate America space, or just anywhere in life, understanding your audience and what they desire versus what you may want to desire for them. And it truly can burn you out, or it
Hmm.
can cause strain in relationships that you don't necessarily want.
Hmm.
So, Coach Jamel, I want to, before we get into how people can connect with you, I just want to ask, for those that may be in the Dallas area, do you have any upcoming events or things that people can come out and support you? Or if you have, I know you talked about you have some merchandise, but how can we come out and support you? Do you have a platform? How can we connect? All the
Yes.
things.
Yes. So you can reach out us to on our website, Madison Ace, Madison, ACE.com. You can call us, email us. We have classes almost, not almost, but now, since it's July, we're having classes every single day. And we know we listen to people's feedback. We look at the market. So we don't charge $30, $35 for an hour and a half class. No, we charge $19.99 for just for a tennis class or a clinic. It's only 8 people per class, or maybe sometime even lower. And we get people real tennis lessons in. And we have all the equipment for you. So you just need to bring yourself. We tell them we have water for you. You have a bathroom here. So just literally just pull up to DeSoto. It's a little bit far for some people, but we have people who come from Prosper, McKinney, Red Oak, just everywhere, Mesquite comes all the way out here because it's a nice environment out here for you. So MadisonAce.com. You can find us on all the social medias at Madison Ace Racquet Sports. You can follow me at Coach Jamel, Coach Jamel. My last name is Madison. That's why we call it Madison Racquet Sports. And yeah, we don't have any events coming up just so far. But you can always stay tuned with that. And we have a group me over 500 people as well. So you can find that on the Instagram too.
Okay. And the group me is open to anyone?
Yep, open to anyone. You just got to make sure you put my name in right. And the group me, we have, that's how you say, that's how people stay up to date with us. We also have the called the Players Club. So, other local players be hopping in there that want to play with other people. And so that's kind of like a little forum they can do on there. And so it's a nice way. You don't have to go to another Facebook or a group or anything. You just go right there to group me, and we can get you involved.
Awesome. And so that was going to be my question. So, do you provide any type of virtual services or support outside of the group me, or is the group me a platform where individuals who may not live in the Dallas or Texas area can connect and kind of learn from your technique and style?
Yeah, we don't offer it just yet there because we like to be we like hands on. But if you reach out to us, we can pretty much find you a coach in your area. I know a lot of coaches around the United States and some in the UK that we try to get involved there if you need help there. So just I always tell people just reach out to me. We always respond through DMs, emails, calls. You can get my personal number. Believe me, if you reach out to me, I'm gonna get back to you with whatever you need, whatever questions, and kind of help you out.
Awesome. Well, I will be sure to include all of the ways that, the viewers and listeners can connect with you. But most importantly, I just want to share that me being a person who is not athletic and I do not enjoy working out. Tennis has been a form of self-care and a release for me where I can just get away, do something different, something that I'm not good at, but I feel when I leave, I'm accomplished and I'm learning something and I see the progress. So I would just recommend to anyone listening, whether you're black, brown, white, or whatever, it's okay to try something new. Don't be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone. Look for those communities that are welcoming. I know that Coach Jamel has his pillars, but outside of the pillars, and he said that he can connect you with someone, really, really understanding that, there are people out there that want to help and want to pour into you and really teach you. But sometimes we just have this fear of trying something different or meeting new people. And there's so many different opportunities to really, really get outside of our comfort zones and try different things. We don't know what our all of our hobbies could be if we don't try something new. And so I just encourage someone, if you can just take one tennis lesson over the summer, or by the end of this year, give it a try. I love to see. I have two nieces who are taking tennis lessons in South Florida. They're much better than I am. But I love to see their mother post that on Instagram because it's something different. It's not something anyone else in our family, did before. And so that comes into generational patterns, changing the legacy of what we are involved in and what we do and what we teach our kids, and not just the kids, but it can be your peers or colleagues. So, Coach Jamel, I appreciate you being a part of this podcast, sharing your story, how you're impacting the community. And to everyone that listened today, I hope that you were inspired. Until the next time, we'll see you then. Have a good day.